let me just say this. All right. Are there men who make videos or make comments on social media who antagonize women on purpose? Yes. I've seen it in my own comment section. I've seen it in my chat room. You got guys who will antagonize women for no reason, just because they're women. I'm not saying that that doesn't happen, but when you look at one of the reasons you have a lot of women are singles, because they obviously don't understand themselves. They don't understand their role and why their relationships have not worked out. Because if you keep looking at, well, the men are bashing us, the men are saying these things, they are influencing others. Are they influencing those men for the better or for the worse? Because if you want men to do better, other men got to be able to talk to them and speak to them and say, hey, this is the things that you can do to be better men. You know, and yes, we're going to talk about female nature. We're going to talk about hypergamy. We're going to talk about the fact that there are women who will choose these guys while they're in their prime over these guys. And they will only want to date these other guys when they're kind of washed up. I think that's the thing that is upsetting a lot of women the most, is the fact that we talk about them hitting the wall. When it comes to beauty, that does happen. Now, there are women who are older, who are still attractive women, who can still date and possibly even get married. But if your mentality has not changed since you were in your prime, you're not going to be able to find the right guy. Okay. I don't care how attractive you still think you are, because at some point you are going to hit the wall completely. And I think that that is the one thing out of all the things that we talk about. I think that's the one thing that angers them the most, because in their mind, they'll never hit the wall. But they got to understand this. If you're looking for a man of means, if you're really trying to level up, that man is going to want a woman who look a specific type of way. Okay. And if that's not you, then that's not you. I'm seeing that you've got men who are middle-aged or older who don't want to date or marry older women when they're ready to settle down. That angers a lot of older women, because those older women were playing games for years and not taking relationships seriously. Because if they were, they would have chose a suitable guy when they had the opportunity. But they thought that by the time they're in their 40s and they're ready to settle down, that those same men in their age range will want to settle down with them as well. And that's not happening. Those men are looking past them. And that's what's angering them. But they have to understand, you dated those same older men when you were in your 20s. Okay. And those men didn't really date, you didn't really take those relationships seriously. They didn't. But at the end of the day, there are guys who may just be bachelors. Very few men nowadays want to get married. And if they're getting married, honestly, they're going to get married to women who are a bit younger than them. I'm not saying you're going to see a guy in his late 40s marrying a woman in her 20s. She might be closer to her 30s, But when it comes to dating, and when these guys are bachelors, of course they're going to date women in their 20s. And they're not going to want to date women in their 40s seriously, because those women, in their minds, those women have already reached a peak. They are set in their ways. They may not have a high drive to have relations, so to speak. And because of that, you're going to have a situation where those women are going to be overlooked, I see attractive older women all the time on social media, even outside of it. And they just happen to be single, and they want to make everyone believe it's their choice. But I don't think so. I just think that they have had so many failed relationships in a short span of time that they think that by sitting back, that guy that they want is going to come out of the blue and magically appear, and he's going to wife them up and give them the life they want. See, that's the hope of a lot of women who play around for years, right? Is that this guy just going to appear out of nowhere. He's 6'5", he has a master's degree. He used to be an ex-street dude, that mythical guy that these women be waiting all these years for. that never show up. And that's the delusion. That's what happens after years and years of just being delusional, after years and years of buying into, you can just, especially the feminist propaganda of how, women can do whatever they want and there's still going to be men that wants them. That's true for some, but not most. And I think one of the things that women forget is that men choose them when it comes to relationships and even marriages. But when it comes to having relations with somebody, of course, women are going to be doing the choosing. And a lot of the times they end up choosing the wrong men to the point to where they become so bitter at the world, okay, at us. They want to come to YouTube and other platforms. They want to challenge us. They want to make videos about us. They want to use other men to go at us because they cannot combat what we are saying, especially some of these guys who are in their age range that not looking in their direction. They're looking for either foreign women, looking for younger women, or women of other ethnic groups. You know what I'm saying? But they're not looking in their direction and they're angry about that. So they want to get on social media and they want to look for somebody to blame. So they come here and they want to blame us. And you got some of these, some of these lames, you got guys that want to write blogs and you got dudes that want to make videos and live streams and they want to denigrate other men for whatever reason. I just think that it just shows you where we are. You know what I'm saying?
We gotta do another interview soon, brother.
Appreciate that, Solo. Yeah, we may have to do one soon, man. One we did the last time was pretty good, man. Shout out to you, man. Now, I'm not saying that men are perfect. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to make it seem like we don't make mistakes. But you have to be very careful of who you give your energy to. What's good, Poetic? I see you. Miranda, I see you. Like the stream, people. But I just feel like you can just tell, man, like there's like there is some real legit anger out here, man. There's some legit anger, and I'm trying to figure out where the anger coming from. Where the anger coming from, man? That's what I want to know. Where's the anger coming from? But like, if we as men have to be accountable for our actions, if we want to get the win we want, we got to either get ourselves into really good shape and get our money right, or both, learn mentally how to make chess moves in society to be able to move everything in the direction that we want it to be in. But with women, I guess they just expect things to be a certain way. And I think that's what's changed. And that's why you're seeing, this vicious like streak that I'm starting to see from women, man. You got women that are, going either trying to learn to be feminine. You got women that are talking about they want to no longer support us as men. It's like where is this coming from? Is it the quarantine? But it was before the quarantine. I think it was a little bit before the quarantine. But I mean, in 2020, like with this quarantine, right? The fact that you got women that can't go in public, right? And get the attention that would make them feel good every day. They're not getting that validation. Like you got women right now, man. They shut the Facebook down years ago. They shut the Instagram down years ago. I bet you right now they're back on Facebook or back on Instagram because that daily validation they would get, they're not getting anymore, especially being in public spaces. Maybe they're the types that like to go to the club or whatever. They're not getting hit on, even though you got women who claim they don't get hit on. That's a whole nother conversation. But I'm just seeing it's getting crazy out here, man. It's like they really are upset that a lot of men are waking up. I would think that's what they want. You know what I'm saying?
As usual, you're speaking facts, family.
Appreciate that, Illadre. So understand this, people. Instead of being upset at other people, just focus on getting yourself right for the type of person that you want. I've said this and a lot of women scoff at this. Yes, if you are interested in somebody, you do need to approach them, because a lot of guys just aren't going to approach you like they used to. They're just not going to do it. You need to be a little bit more aggressive. I'm not saying you got to be desperate, but if you want something, you got to go for it like we do. We as men, if we want something, we have to go for it, you know? And I'm not speaking to every woman. I'm speaking to the women that are struggle dating into 2020. They've been struggle dating 2019, 2018, 2017, 2016. The struggle dating has been real. It's like you can tell the progression of their bitterness has gotten to 10 times the level that it used to. Okay, they used to be, they used to still have a good attitude about things, and they became indifferent, and then they just became bitter. It's like levels to it. You know what I'm saying? And then you got the sub levels in between. And that's what we want to do. We want to make things right. That's what we want to do. Shout out to Era Black TV. But some of y'all females got to change up, or you are going to be single. And this is the worst time to be single for women. See, we as men, we used to being by ourselves. You know what I'm saying? We don't need nobody right next to us all the time. I think that's different with women, man. This quarantine and you can't really go out and see and meet people and greet people, whatnot. You kind of got to be home, especially if you're in like a hotspot area. Like, it's really tough, It's really tough. But that's why you're going to see more people on social media, right? You're going to see them hopping on Instagram. They ain't been on there in 4 years. They're going to hop right back on there like ain't nothing going on, right? Same thing with Facebook. They swore off Facebook. They claim they got stalkers, but they're going to be back on there where the stalkers are, But the stalker is probably a dude that she dated and dumped that's mad about it. Dated and dumped for a loser, and the loser dropped her. And now the ex dude, he ain't got no closure. He ain't got no answers. He see you pop up on his timeline. He ain't seen you in years. You ain't never gave him no closure. You ain't never told him why you left him for the dude that you ended up breaking up with. He don't promise you the world. It wanted to get engaged with you, but you was like, no. He ain't got no answers. Dude been floating out there for 4 years. All of a sudden he gonna see the chick on his timeline. And he ain't never got no closure, no answers, man. I'm telling you, a lot of that's probably going on, man. Dude. I'm telling you, man. That's what's going on, man. Wouldn't surprise me. It's a lot of accounts being reopened. You're seeing a lot of people coming over here to YouTube, seeing some of these videos. It's good, Vern. Shout out to Michael Dwayne.
Quarantine revealing a lot of women's true colors.
It is.